Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. It's a rather quiet market today. The reason for that is, of course, Thanksgiving in the US. So it's a holiday there and therefore the markets are closed. Of course, crypto isn't closed, but it's obviously usually getting a lot of impulses from the stock market. As the stock market is closed, we are not going to see a lot of movement here today, right? And that is normally what you see when the stock market is closed. Crypto is rather quiet. And therefore the scenario that we discussed in the previous video still stands. I still would like to take the opportunity to to take a look here at the larger pattern and to look at the opportunities and the possibilities that there are here in this chart and what Bitcoin, sort of look at the possibilities in the imminent short term. I had in the recent days, obviously a lot of people are scared. There's still extreme fear in the market, and I talked a few times about the possibility of a 10k or 6k or 3k Bitcoin. In fact, I even had one guy, apparently, at least that's what he said, unsubscribe because I put the possibility of a 3k Bitcoin in the room. I put it out there, right? And of course it's possible, right? Bitcoin was there before. There's no reason why it couldn't get there again. But that is not my primary expectation, yeah? So my primary expectation is not that Bitcoin gets down that low. In fact, I think the worst case for me personally would be the sort of a 10.5k Bitcoin, 10k. Going really below the 10k, it's hard for me to see that really. It's hard for me to see that. I don't want to rule it out, and we always need to keep an open mind. And, if the chart changes, we need to be flexible, of course. But I don't see that, For me, also looking at the patterns, the Elliott Wave structure, the chart structure, I'd rather be looking here at somewhere around the 14k level for Bitcoin. Maybe a bit lower, but I think sort of the 14k, maybe 14.5k level, that is, by the way, also a target for another low, and that would be ideal from, for Bitcoin to go down to that level, basically find a low and reverse. It could already reverse now. Yeah, surely Bitcoin could already move up now. And we are going to see that, but at the moment Bitcoin is just not there yet, and it doesn't prove that to us yet. Okay, so we need to see a bit more to say that the low is in. Any new low could be the last one. I said that for the first time, I think, in June, and since then we've now made one new low. So obviously every low could be the last one, so we need to be ready for that. At the moment, we don't really have the strong evidence for that, but it's of course possible. So we are going to look at the micro patterns in a minute as well. But what you need to understand is that my primary scenario is not that Bitcoin goes down to below 10k. I think 10k would be my personal worst case. Again, below that would be extremely, I think unrealistic. Well, not unrealistic, but it would be unlikely, especially from the current point of view. My view is sort of the 14 to 14.5k area. Just wanted to clear that up really, because a lot of people get confused. When I mention the possibility of a 3k or 6k Bitcoin, I just do that to, of course, put the possibility out there, because a lot of people just don't know that this is possible. A lot of people would entirely panic when we go down to that level, but it's a possibility. And Bitcoin could still, after that, get back into a sustainable uptrend again. Okay. And I obviously need to make you aware. I sometimes get the question, is a 3k Bitcoin possible? And yeah, of course it is possible, but it's not likely. It's not primary expectation. So looking at Bitcoin here in the medium term, what I'm looking here at is that this area is sort of the last wave of the larger downtrend. This last wave obviously is a wave 5. So there's different possibilities how this can be constructed, depending on how I count the higher level move, the higher level pattern, the sort of the move down from the all-time high. The way I count this, and again, there's different possibilities, but most of them point to a very similar, into a similar area. So what I've got here is the high of the wave 4 at around 25k, that we come down in a 3-wave move, ABC, in a 5th wave. And this C wave consists of 5 waves. Waves 1 in, wave 2 in, wave 3 in. Probably we're going to see a wave 4 now. That could of course go a bit higher before we, however, come down once more in a 5, right? There's another possibility how this can be counted. And it would be just simply that we say this wave 4 was here, yeah, this wave 3 was here, 4, and then we do something. And again, it depends on how I count the move or the waves from the all-time high, because I can, instead of counting the last wave here as an ABC, with that structure, and that's possible as well, I can very easily count this as a 5-wave move down. So wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, yeah, and wave 5. And in this scenario, it would even be likely to hit the resistance of the channel here, or descending wedge. You know, you can see this as a so-called descending wedge. In Elliott Wave language, we would call that an ending diagonal. I've been talking about diagonal patterns now for a long time. You can also call it a descending wedge in that case, and that would be generally a bullish pattern or a reversal pattern to the upside, ideally, because it is the time in the market when, and you can see that because the steepness of the sell-off reduces. So it is the time in the market when sellers are getting exhausted, right? There are not too many sellers left, but buyers are not yet strong enough to push the market to the upside. So let's take a look in the short term. I don't necessarily have a preference, one over the other that I just showed you. You know, they lead to similar results, really. Sort of 14 to 14.5K would be ideal for another move down. So we're going to take a look at this possible wave 4 to the upside that I just showed you, yeah, which possibly even could reach the 20K level. That would be very strong in my opinion, but it could go, you know, further up, obviously. So the current development on the Bitcoin chart, I don't necessarily see that as super bullish. It is at the moment for me a corrective move up. Yeah, for example, here as indicated on the chart as an A, B, C. We're now in the C wave here. Obviously a bit quiet today in the market. By the way, could an imminent sell-off happen as well? Yes. And therefore the next retracement is so important. In the next retracement, we will find out if Bitcoin is going to hold the support that is indicated here in the yellow box. So we're zooming in a little bit. So this support is a critical area between 15.8 and just roughly and 16.1K. Yeah, if we hold this area as support, then there is a good chance to move up in this C wave of 4 into the region, maybe 18 to 20K. Yeah. If we count this as a sort of, which is possible as well, like a triangle pattern here sideways, for example, then we should see an imminent sell-off, which would be quite strong, to be fair. That's normally what you get when a triangle breaks out. And then the next leg down, again, it could be the last one, okay? So this is the possibility. Primary expectation at the moment for me would be that we are, that we are following here this wave 4, as I said. Yeah, that's why we've got it on the chart, this 4th wave to the upside. Well, I don't know, of course, if the 4th wave was already in here or if we're going to see a larger wave 4. That's extremely difficult to forecast. I'm currently rather leaning towards more upside here. But of course, first, before we see that upside in this 5-wave structure that you can see here indicated in yellow, we possibly see this wave down in a larger wave 2 before we move up in 3, come down in 4, and move up in 5. We had this channel on the chart here, and this is now the very short term, which broke to the downside today, but the market is still holding well. So I'm going to take the channel out because it's not relevant anymore. So if this really is the count, the very short term count here, this is just one scenario how it could unfold. You know that on the short term, those counts often get challenged, changed, they have to be flexible, they're very fragile, yeah. But this could be a wave 1 up in 5 waves, then here a wave A down, an overshooting wave B, and we could come down in a C wave into this area. And that would then be a wave 2, and we would rally in a wave 3 afterwards. So that would be a sort of a breakout scenario. Not necessarily bullish, but short-term bullish before we come down once more in a 5th wave. So still looking primarily for one more low, unless the market proves something different here. And yeah, that's basically where we are with Bitcoin at the moment in this possible 1-2 setup. Again, it's critical in the next retracement to hold here the support area. Is a direct breakout possible as well? Yes, but then we need to watch the levels very clearly. We need to watch here the resistance. So that is basically at 16,800 pretty clearly, because this is basically Bitcoin could. So, you know, if you're watching this chart, you know, take a look at this from 2 points of view. Either This is now coming down in a C wave before we move up, I think. Or it's coming down into this area. That's the next decision point. Yeah. And from here, it could move up. Or it's not going to go down there, but it's moving up and will break this area. So either way, if you see this level break, 16.8K, that could take us up already into this wave 3 area of, let's say, 18K. Yeah. Why is this possible? It is possible because this could become an inverse head and shoulders. Okay, and the target of that is around the 18K level. So Ethereum does something different, similar, something very similar. We're currently just below resistance, and of course, if that level breaks, that resistance level breaks, that would be very, very interesting for a possible move to the upside. So possible trade setup, a breakout setup, or alternatively, here a long setup in this area down there to the upside. And however, if we break below this level at 15,770 to be exact, yeah, this is the 78.6% FIB level, then we are most likely coming down directly. So it should give you here very, very clearly, this analysis, the key pivot points, decision points, and breakout points. So you should be equipped to understand the different imminent possibilities, okay, what the market can do. Okay, and that's my update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.